Hit it.
Good morning, Dirty 30. Welcome to the worst, best, dirtiest, cleanest show there is. Off the rails, we may go. Who knows? Good morning, Kenwood. Morning, Mark Shark.
Morning, Chef Adam. And
What's happening?
Mark the Shark on the, as DJ
right.
says, the ones and twos this morning. And he's over having to adjust that equalizer right now with that big old deep boy.
God.
God.
Do I need to move a little closer?
Yeah. He said, how'd Barry White get in here this morning?
That's right. Speaking of, I think that's going to be the first album we do. I want to do like some old R&B, like Lou Rawls, Barry White.
Man, listen, it's funny you say that.
Isaac Hayes or something.
I was watching something a couple nights ago that was talking about Barry White, and you know how I didn't know this about him, but you had Motown Records back at that time. I thought he was with Motown. Barry White had his own record label,
Yeah.
and they claim he was like a great businessman, that he did very well, you know, and not just
maybe
with
not the
his
smartest.
own.
Maybe should have taken those blood pressure pills.
Well, right, but not necessarily with his, like, you know, he had a couple big hits. That one, You're My First, My Last, My Everything. But, you know, I still think he was able to do things music-wise that these other, you know, companies weren't going to let him do.
Oh, yeah.
I think and one part of that said that song, You're My First, I think 5 or 6 different record companies may have told him that was crap and it wasn't going to be
That's
this.
awful.
And that's like, that song's been used in so many movies. I can't even tell. I know, like, which Rush Hour is it? Is it No. Money Talks with Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker. Remember when he's marrying Heather Locklear?
Oh, yeah.
And the daddy's the rich Italian guy, and he's got his mom working for him. Anyway, let's see here. Good morning. Good morning, Wendy. Billie Jean. Let me get through here. Good morning, Hot Rod. Timmy Wiggins. Happy Friday. Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Earl Crook. Kimberly Williams. The girl's 87 here.
What's happening? What's up, Tim?
Fuquay, good morning. Ginger Norsworthy, good morning to you.
Coach.
JP, the coach. Miss Peggy Miller, Mama, good morning this morning, Miss Peggy. So, yeah, I tell you, I think you could pull off some Barry.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, he, it always amazed me that, you know, he just started off, so I was like, oh, baby.
Listen.
Hey, girl. And started singing. He's like, Mark. And he was all, you know, high when he kind of sang.
I've always kind of equated him, like, he was the precursor to Keith Sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. You know, Keith didn't have that big old deep voice, but Keith was wanting to start talking to him before the song started.
The Sweat Hotel? You know, now he's like, you know, he's got a deeper voice than than I remember.
He does. But I'm telling you, man, that guy, like, I've seen him in concert a couple times.
Yeah.
And I've seen people. Hey, I've seen grown women act a fool over that man. I mean, good morning, Miss Sandy Townsend.
Good morning.
Let's see. So, in mentioning the weather real quick, chances are probably going to storm again. mean,
Well,
it
let's
has
see.
every other day.
My right knee says about 70% chance
There
today.
you go. There you go. So,
My shoulder says 80.
yeah. I'll tell you what, we had some water dropped on us last night.
Oh my gosh.
Lord.
It came down. There's people like, all the Southern, sayings, and I don't know if my Uncle Steve, where he got some of his, but when it was raining like that, he'd always like, it's raining like a cow pissing on a flat rock.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an old school saying right there.
And everybody's like,
that means it's getting down.
Oh, it's raining.
Yeah.
It's splashing.
That's right. Good morning, Johnny Sims.
Good morning, sir.
Hot Rod said, nobody.
That's right.
Listen, that was the music of choice back in the day.
Oh, how deep is your love? Oh, you had some subs in your car, and
Man,
boom, boom, boom.
Listen, Keith was dirty. There's a right and a wrong way to love somebody. I mean, the first verse of that song says, "You may be young, but you're ready."
They wouldn't even be able to make that music nowadays.
No, man, no. I'm telling you, like, a lot of stuff that was made back then. I saw I finally saw a documentary on the show In Living Color. You remember that, the Wayans brothers, where all of them got Jim Carrey got his star. Everybody, J-Lo, that's right. She was a fly girl, a dancer on there. So, good morning, Miss McKenzie, DJ's fourth grade teacher.
Good morning.
So, I always wondered what had happened because it just like in mid-season just stopped. And so they had Keenan Ivory Williams, who was the creator or whatever on, and he told the whole story about how that this is crazy, but Fire Marshal Bill is what got him.
Really?
That's what got him. He said that.
That's what Hot Rod just said. Fire Marshal Bill.
Hey, and I didn't even see that, but until right now. But that's what got him. He said that they told him that he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it. He said, "Okay," but he said that when Fox came to, that came on Fox, and when they first came to him, they told him, "Let his creative juices flow. He could do whatever he wanted to." So that's what he did.
Yeah.
And then when they got ready to air it, the first episode, the pilot, they didn't know what they thought about it too much because, that show was, but if you remember, so that was like the fourth season, in the middle of the fourth season when he quit. Well, if you remember at the time, that whole Beavis and Butthead thing where Beavis was, doing the fire. Remember, and people were pitching such a fit about all that and stuff. So Keenan Ivory Williams said that he just got tired of listening to all the BS from the network. Mm-hmm. So he said, heck with it. He turned around, walked out. And, he has produced, I didn't realize how many movies that man had produced. Oh, yeah. He's got no problems. He has zero problems. He didn't need to do anything else. He didn't need to do that show, really, but he,
No, that's, just residuals off of everything.
But the crazy thing is, look at all the people that came, the great
Jim
comedians
Carrey.
That came.
It says that, if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't be anywhere.
Damon Wayans.
Oh.
Look, man, if you've never seen Major Payne, and I mean this, okay, and I'm being dead serious when I say this right now. If you have never seen Major Payne and you want to watch something that, hey, whether you got kids or not, I don't care. And if you do have kids, you can watch it with them because it is, trust me, it's very family friendly for the most part.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that you need to watch that movie because your stomach will hurt from laughing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Damon Wayans.
And how he keeps that character.
I don't know, man. And then you got, Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx came from In Living Color. I mean,
Yeah, so talented.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's all Tommy Davidson. I mean, I keep going. I'll tell you this, and I shouldn't even say this, but my favorite skits that they ever did on that show, and I did like the Fire Marshal Bill, and I love Homie the Clown and all that. But now none of them were as good as the Men On stuff. You know, Men On Film, Men On Art, Men On whatever. You know, that was hilarious. No, they sure couldn't get away with that today, at all. So good morning there, Chief.
When they go in there looking for some, there's a movie, I think it was an offshoot of it. They go in there looking for some saran wrap. And the old guys behind the counter.
Definitely couldn't get away with doing that today. No.
That's all right.
But crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So, what's happening in your world there, Chef Adam? What's going on down at the camp?
Oh, just working and working. Getting ready for the weekend, seafood buffet. Hadn't made up my mind what Cajun dishes I'm putting out there tonight. Seems like I always make something Cajun.
Well, when it's good to you, why not, right?
That's right. Probably some red beans and rice and maybe some chicken Creole. A little blackened chicken Creole. It's always tasty.
Yes, it is. You know what? I who did I tell this to? I told somebody, maybe it was Jeff. I want you, when you get a chance, I know you got all this free time, but
heck yeah.
I want you to make up some of that chicken and sausage gumbo that you used to make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Man, this man would go to he'd go to the refrigerator and just start like grabbing stuff.
We come in, it's like, man, hungry. What do we got to eat here? And look in the refrigerator and go, look in the cabinets. Okay, I know.
I remember the first time I'd never eaten. I'd never had any of it. And I remember the first time he said, y'all ever had any chicken sausage gumbo? So I ain't never had it, but I'm willing. I love chicken and sausage.
Yeah, how can it be bad?
Let me tell you, that stuff is delicious. I've been craving that, man.
It's better to me than seafood gumbo.
Me too. I was about to say that. I think it's way better. Good morning, Zeke Smith. Zeke serving our country over there in the big continent of Africa. He's getting it done over there. Good to see you, Zeke. Y'all keep Zeke in your prayers, and thank you for your service to our country, Zeke.
Selena, Charlie, was with the.
By the way, let me say something real quick. The background's off the chain, Mark.
Sad to say, I like it.
Yeah. Is that not off the chain?
It went a little retro today, right?
No,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Look, man, I like
First,
it.
I thought we were at the casino. Then I had to look, and I saw Gallagher.
Yeah, I said that.
I would wear my poor hand out.
Oh, my Lord. Look, I'll tell you what caught my eye. What caught my eye was the Pac-Man game back there. I say it's Pac-Man. Looks like it. But anyway.
I got to turn my things out.
Great job there, Mark the Shark.
I'm going to go ahead and say this shirt is not flattering. I thought it was all right, but I'm not happy.
Do what now?
Oh, nothing.
Oh. Sorry, I was reading this. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry. So I'm like you. I think the chicken sausage gumbo.
It is.
Now listen, I like the seafood gumbo too. But if they're both sitting there, I know what I'm going to.
Oh yeah, I'm not the biggest seafood fan in the world.
And here's the next problem that most people don't realize. If you go anywhere eat chickens like Louisiana, they don't know what Conecuh sausage is.
No. Okay. Yeah, it's all andouille.
Chef Adam does. Chef Adam's chicken and sausage gumbo has Conecuh.
Has Conecuh in it.
Over there, they call it Conecuh. I said, that's not how you pronounce it. I mean, listen, there's a few that know what Conecuh is because, I think Conecuh is the sausage of the SEC. Mm-hmm. So, you run into some that do know what it is because of going to football games and stuff. But I'm telling you, the very first time one of them said, hey, you think you might could bring me some of that Conecuh back when you come back from over there? I said, Conecuh? I said, this must be some Cajun word or
it's
something
like-
again, or some Creole words. Like, I don't know what kind of you know that sausage. I said, you mean Kaneka?
And they're like, oh,
They're like, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, it's called Kaneka.
yeah, Kaneka sausage. I don't
They
know
said,
where y'all
oh, man, we had to get to say Cornicue. And I'm like, no, that's not it.
No,
That's not it. But
no.
yeah, I would bring back sausage to them over there. And let me tell you, you'd have thought that I brought them 100 pounds of gold. I mean,
Well.
they love it.
Yeah, it's good, and the Cajun version, is
Off the hook.
it is really good. I like it.
But you know
Good stuff.
what's crazy to me is the amount of sausage, the variety of sausage brands that you walk in the store over there and see, but you don't see Kaneka. I mean, and that's just and when I tell you that people over there love Kaneka sausage,
Oh yeah, I'm kielbasa and some of those that are more like a, I don't know, a spicy hot dog or something. Yeah, I'm never have been all that big on. Maybe because we were raised on Kaneka. Maybe it just.
I think that's probably well some of it, but even on that, I mean, man, I'm telling you, anybody that you ever introduce Kaneka sausage to, it's like from that point forward,
Oh, there's nothing else.
yeah, they're like, listen, you ruined me. I mean, I got friends over there right now that have called me because I showed them how they could go online and order it
Yeah.
and get it shipped to them, and I'm telling you, they will call me, talk about how they just grilled some and did this and did that.
Yeah, I think I like
and
the original smaller.
I don't think there's any substitute for that. I think
I
that's
think that is the best. Yeah, we have the bigger size because it's just
Well, look,
better.
I get having the bigger size for like, especially when you go put on a hot dog bun or stuff like that. But man, if you just
if
stand
you just
around,
doing breakfast or something, and
yes,
you grilling up some sausage.
or
it's gotta
say
be
you're
the
grilling
original.
steaks or something later on, and you want to grill a little appetizer or
That's
whatever.
right.
Man, you put some Kaneka on.
Kaneka and a bottle of mustard. What else?
That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. So,
I think I was going to tell you.
good morning, Donna
Selena's,
Holland.
significant other is Charlie.
Yeah.
And he is leaving. He just came back for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, but he's leaving again Friday, today. Going back, he is, because he was a K-9 with Flomaton and
That's
East
right.
Bruton and all that. So he is at the embassy in Jordan, running K-9 bomb dogs, I guess, and stuff over there.
Now, is he full time or is he reserve or National Guard?
No, he's just a contract labor.
Oh, they contracted him to go over
Yeah.
there. So he took his dog, or they got.
No, they had him a dog.
I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I love that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. Making 5 times what he was in Philomaton.
Look, there's no doubt. I mean, but I'll tell you what.
Do it for a year, come back and be able to get him a house and all kind of good stuff.
I'll tell you what
so
thing-
I applaud him for.
Me too. And I'll tell you this.
At
I
first,
applaud
I
him
was
for his,
like, I don't know, that's kind of
I applaud him for his
sketchy
courage.
over there.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because hey, but now I'm sure they probably got some. If it's not American military, it's going to be those paid
Oh yeah.
versions. You know what I'm saying?
They got plenty of support.
Yeah.
He said he hadn't been worried, and he said he usually does like 4 missions a day, and besides that, they sit around and play Call of Duty and
Yep.
have-
Good morning,
Not
Sherry
too bad.
Weaver.
What's up, OG?
No, listen. Have you ever had a chance to see those dogs work like that? I'm gonna tell you, man, it's amazing. I mean, it is.
Watching some of the videos of some of them training now, where these special forces dogs, and it's funny because like the dogs got on goggles too, and
Good morning, Miss Gail.
every step they take, that dog's weaving in and out of their legs, and if they stop,
Let me tell you.
I mean, it is.
I that's one thing I love to do is train with dogs. And the guy that I train with is up at Fort Benning. And he had another client that would come in that had a Belgian Malinois, which is what most of those dogs you're talking about are. And her name was Maggie. And I basically can tell you that, like, if you've ever seen a robot this was a robot dog, but it wasn't. That dog would get between her handler's legs.
Yeah.
And I don't care what that handler did. Forward, backward, side, turning, do a flip.
Yeah, that dog knew what that
dog was going to do it.
It knew what it was going to, handler was going to do before he did it.
And let me tell you something else. You weren't getting close to that woman.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about that dog would form tackle you running full out at 70 yards and roll you up. I'm talking about, and you wouldn't want to see that.
No.
So,
yeah, we're talking about Charlie, Sherry, just giving him some props. We were talking about Zeke being over in Africa, and I'm sure there's probably more people from
listen, so we want to keep anyone and everyone that is serving our country or has served our country in our thoughts and prayers,
Absolutely.
Especially those right now, because look, we've talked about it some here on the show. We're living in a crazy. We can call it crazy, but it's historic times. We are, and we really need to keep all our men and women.
The job they do is there's only a special few that'll go do it.
That's a fact. Because let me tell you something. They don't pay you anything. As far as the military, you get paid jack to do that. Okay. You're doing that because you have some sense of you want to
patriotism.
Yeah,
and
that's something that's dying. Is patriotism. Let me say this:
the reason
I don't know if it's dying or if people just keep it to themselves more than they used to. I don't know.
I don't think all these little, I don't know what to call them, that use their freedom of speech and their First Amendment, that they don't understand if it wasn't.
Well, they don't know where that came from.
Yeah, they don't understand if it wasn't for the fact that the military's sticking up for us and doing what they
King
what
Kane
they do, that you could not and would not have that right.
That's a fact. King Kane, good morning to you.
D-Top.
What up, gentlemen? Hot Rod, you're right about that. But
you get 3 squares and a guy.
Here's I want to touch on.
Of course, you get that in prison,
I'm going to touch on what you're saying, because what you're saying is true. What kills me, and I'm going to be the first. I don't care. Like it or lump it, I don't care what people think about this. I am with Israel.
Yeah.
I don't care about the political side. I know what the Bible says about that. Okay? And that's all.
Israel or else.
Hey, that's the Lord's people. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm co-signing to whatever they need to do to protect themselves, and they got attacked. They didn't attack. They did not attack anybody. Okay? Had that been us, had that been America that happened to, what do y'all think be happening?
Oh.
Okay?
Shock and awe.
It took George Bush less than 24 hours. Say what you want to, but I know this for a fact, and I can bring a guy on here that'll tell you. It took George Bush less than 24 hours to have people on the ground in Afghanistan after September the 11th. So I don't know why we want to tell these people how they should or shouldn't be defending themselves. I don't get that.
Exactly. These terrorists, Hamas or whatever, come over there, murder, rape, steal,
they all that stuff that they did, and it's like people want to say, well, Israel's response is way over what they did. No, it's not. These people flew into a music festival and killed hundreds of people for no reason.
They're just having a good time.
That is evil. That's not. Okay. So you look, you do what it says. You give them back what they gave you.
That's right.
But you give them back worse. And that's just how it is. So
I agree.
And look, I don't care what. To me, that ain't political. To me, that's faith. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anybody says. Anytime, just read it. Anytime the Israel's ever turned their back on the Lord, they've lost. Well, they ain't got their back turned to
No.
it.
How true, and then when he was at, in Washington, the protesters that were outside the Capitol building, I mean, that was a lot of people, and it was very.
Well, you know what I say about people like that, though? I mean, you know what?
There's groups that pay people to just go.
Listen, I think most of them people are paid to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's my thing. I don't put any stock in people like that. You know why? They ain't got a job, obviously. So if they had a job, they'd be contributing to society, not standing out in front of somewhere, painting stuff and trying to, I don't know what they think they're going to accomplish. That's like these people that sit down in the middle of the road thinking they're going to protest.
Gonna get run over.
You see what happened in Pensacola when that happened down there, didn't you? That lady said she feared for her life. Man jumped on her hood. He regretted that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I've seen some where like.
Freedom isn't free. That's right, Hot Rod. People need to remember that. I'm going to tell you something.
There's plenty of people that have given all.
What we live and see every day is a direct result of people getting out there and putting their life on the line and giving their life for this country to have that ability. Okay? So freedom isn't free.
You couldn't do all in China, North Korea. There's people in China that spoke out against and this is recently. This is a couple of weeks ago I was reading about
Locked them up.
Locked them up.
Sure did. That's right.
You got a different way of thinking than us. Guess what? We're putting you in jail.
Well, listen to this.
Because they don't want any movement started against.
Listen to this now. Let's see. Earl said lack of discipline. I agree with that. Sherry says the spin the media puts on it. Oh, it pisses everybody off. Tom Dowdle, good morning from the ATL.
What's happening?
Zeke's got it right. As military personnel, it's a lack of support for the ones overseas. And see, that's what burns me up right there. And anybody that's been in the military, D-Tom can speak to this, Hot Rod can speak to this, and several that's in here, if you've been in the military, you can speak to this. You would be surprised at some of the branches, some of the regiments, battalions, companies, whatever. You'd be surprised at the equipment and things that they were given to work with. And, Zeke makes a great point there. Lack of support. So I'm speaking of the actual military itself, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We need to find out, and I know you can, and I can find out, but we need to all get together and send something to Charlie and Zeke over there and let them know that
absolutely
we thinking about them and support them and because that's true. I mean, man, let me tell you, I don't care. If you have never been in the military, it's hard to understand this. But when you wake up in another country that you had no idea you were ever going to be in, and you're there and you don't really have an understanding as to what in the hell you're doing there anyway, I'm telling you, you can be friends with as many of your boys you want to be, your bunk mates, all this stuff. It doesn't matter. That thinking about, I don't care where your home is. Thinking about where your home is it gets on you. And I mean, it gets on you now. I'm telling you, it does. I've watched it a lot. I'm glad I was as young as I was because I was like, man, I've been looking to get out of Bruton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm that's right. There you go. But I'm simply saying that you can't understand that feeling until you wake up and realize it. You know what I'm saying? So, Zeke's right, man. That's a tough thing. Listen, Charlie, as much money as Charlie's making, okay, it doesn't matter. He's still over there without his family, without friends, without support. I mean, I'm sure he's got support on a certain level, but I'm talking about a family level, a friend, that kind of thing. Man, we used to stand around. Man, if you didn't get any mail call, hey, Hot Rod, D-Top, If you didn't get him at mail call, it was like somebody walked up and slapped you. No joke. You waited on that mail.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who it was from. You didn't care if it was from mama, aunt, daddy, cousin.
That's right.
You didn't care,
His last name is Land, Hot Rod.
That's right. That's a fact. Good morning, David Cole. Let's see here.
It's my daughter's significant. I don't know.
Charlie?
Yeah, I don't want to call him baby daddy.
No. Charlie Land. He was the officer over. He was the canine officer over in East Bruton. That's right.
And then he left and went to Flomaton. And then got this opportunity to go to Jordan and work at the embassy over there.
D. Tomp says, just like the crap that happened in D.C., peaceful protest. They need to let the MPs handle it. A totally different scenario. That's a fact. Here's what they need to do. What they need to do is have all these kinds of things on military bases. You know why? Because then you're under the UCMJ, not the law as we know it.
Not the law of the land.
No, you're under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And they work a lot different than the justice system that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, D-Top says a kick in the gut, mail call, you didn't have nothing.
He's right. Look, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not lying when I say I watch grown men sit in the bed and cry for their mamas and stuff. I mean, just craziness. And I mean,
I couldn't imagine.
I see people that get a letter or something for a week, and I mean, these people they'd have to go to sick call and get some sort of I don't know what they got. I couldn't tell you. I don't think they gave them anything. The
placebo
thing they gave everybody was Motrin. I don't know why, because it didn't do anything for anybody. But that's what they handed out.
Make your blood thinner.
Yeah, that's it. So let's see here. King Kane says most of the people protesting aren't even Palestinian. They're indoctrinated college kids. That's a good point. Good morning, David Cole. Let's see. The hardest heartfelt lesson I learned was being boots on the ground at Christmas in 1990, knowing a war was imminent. Makes you appreciate family. And that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That thought process right there is what people do not think about when they think about the military, and serving and people that serve. They don't think about that.
That's right.
But I'm telling you.
And Charlie's a private contractor, not necessarily in the military. But to go over there and leave Selena and your 2-year-old, LJ, and that's a lot of, sacrifice either way, just being able to go over there and do that. Brian Edwards worked for the UN peacekeeping forces for a long, long time.
Yep.
And, he told me he was over there in Kosovo. I mean, during the time of Black Hawk Down and all that, and he was telling me about them having to leave the embassy, and he and the guy with the last ones run up and grab a dignitary and the flag, before they left, and so you become real good shot because they have rubber bullets.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He said, "With people shooting RPGs and everything at you, and we got some rubber bullets." He said, "You got real good with headshots."
Well, here's the thing that kills me about that, and we'll move on. Why the rules of engagement are always different for us versus, like you just said, we're getting shot at with RPGs, we're shooting back with rubber bullets. Okay, that makes zero sense to me.
We're trying to deter, they're trying to kill.
Right. I mean, so anyway, we'll switch gears and get off that. But I do want to say this. I think that we should all work together and try to show some support to these guys that are over there doing this, and I think it would be much appreciated for sure.
And it's got to be easier nowadays because Charlie and Selena FaceTime almost every night.
Well, yeah, and let me tell you, I wouldn't know what that is because when back then,
wasn't no such thing.
Man, if you made a phone call from over there, I mean, I guarantee you Hot Rod can speak to this. The darn delay was so bad, you couldn't hardly, you'd say something, it'd take 45 seconds for them to say something back. And you only had like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I got in. I love you, and
Yeah, I mean,
talk to you soon.
right. I mean, it was one of them things where you're like, okay, all right. So let me pull this up here. I had something. I knew you were coming in. And I had found something. Oh, I know what it is. What do you think's going on with all these arena concerts that they're having to cancel? And I know you're a big concert guy.
I love live music.
Look at all these bands that are canceling these arena tours because they can't sell tickets. They can't. I mean, not even half full tickets. My opinion, it's gotten out of control with its pricing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's stupid.
I can remember going to Bayfront and going to Pensacola Civic Center and paying, $25, $30, 50 if you wanted some really good seats. And now
50, what I saw wouldn't even get you in the
50 is the parking pass.
Yeah, I was going to say that parks.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw where the nosebleed seats at some concert that's supposedly one of the hottest ones out. I don't know who they were. In New York, in Madison Square Garden, the nosebleed seats were $358. Now, 80 miles down the road, somewhere in New Jersey, the nosebleed seats were $53. Now, I realize that's a venue thing.
Yeah.
But still, I mean...
Are you going to pay $2,500 a ticket to sit on the front row to see Taylor Swift?
No. But I'm saying...
I didn't. I turned down, I could have gone, when the Hell Freezes Over tour came out, $300 a ticket back then.
Back then? That was in the early 90s, wasn't it? Yeah.
We were like $300 a ticket. I mean, that would be like $1,200 a ticket now.
Oh,
maybe a little more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. You think about it. We used to hear about concerts constantly, all the time. I think the reason the places like the Wharf do so well is because of it being a smaller venue. I mean, you're not trying to seat 30, 40, 50,000 people.
I thought it was hilarious.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you see they had some video of J-Lo that it was basically, a whole arena, and it was basically empty except for a few people around the stage.
Well, it's funny you say she was one of the ones that canceled.
She canceled her whole tour.
The whole tour, yeah. Several bands have.
Yeah.
Warren Haynes, he just had to.
Which is crazy because, I don't know.
Couldn't sell tickets.
You can't sell tickets, you can't pay your folks.
No, and I'm telling you that is ticket prices have gotten so out of control. I mean, if they bring back the days of here's $20 general admission, have at it. You'd have lines at 4 hours before the show, and everybody'd be happy.
That's right. Yeah, I wouldn't go see Taylor Swift either, Jerry.
No.
I'm not a Swiftie.
No. Who was that?
Sherry. She said she wouldn't pay 50 cents to go see her.
Me either. But I'm saying, that's just not my style or my thing. Now, if it is, more power to you. Let's see. Fuquay said, my son was a Marine in Iraq, Africa, and Afghanistan, and I sent socks continuously. Him and his friends were always asking for them and snacks. Let me tell you, wool socks they give you, or at least the Army did. I don't know about the rest. Woo! We literally would put white tube socks on and then put them green wool ones on over that because them wolves would tear your feet up.
I could imagine.
Oh, man, it was
I could imagine the itch.
Oh, it was terrible. D. Thompson, I remember paying $17 to go see GNR at the Bay Center a few years ago. Well, I saw GNR open for Motley Crue.
Yeah.
On the Girls tour, and it was general admission to Bayfront Coliseum and the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. It was general admission. Yeah. So we were on the floor and I think it was like $25 or whatever it was. The
Yeah,
ticket.
I remember seeing Aerosmith over at UNO, and it was general admission.
I mean,
Now that was early 90s.
that's right. D-Top. Back in the day, the top liners played in Biloxi. That's a fact.
Oh yeah,
And you know why? The acoustics. Everything everybody I've ever talked to said that the reason why you saw a lot of the big name acts come to that place and not the Pensacola Civic Center or the Mobile Civic Center was because Gulf Coast Coliseum had acoustics that were so. And look, I can agree because Pensacola, the Civic Center acoustics are terrible. They are terrible. They redesigned that thing inside, sound wise, when they first built it. Because the acoustics were so bad, and they're still bad.
Yeah.
But they were even worse when they first built it. Because I don't know what concert was the first one in there, but whatever it was a disaster. And they had to redo all that. So,
that's nowadays, I guess they have, AI that could probably project which way the music's going and how it's going to bounce off the ceiling and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. Let's see. King Kane says people have to eat groceries or tickets. Well, that's a fact. Good morning, Joe Beasley. Fuquay said her first Elton ticket was $10. How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. You won't go see Elton John for that?
No.
I mean, is he finished with his run at
I think
in Vegas? Wasn't that going to be his last hoorah kind of thing?
That is.
I'll tell you what now. I've told this before. Jessica drugged me to one of those shows. I didn't want to go. I mean, I was like, I mean, I can listen to the music, but I mean, it wasn't something I wanted. I'll tell you what. I walked out of there. I said, I will definitely go back and see that. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
His band, it was great. I mean, he put on a heck of a show.
Billy Joel in Miami.
I bet that was fantastic.
And it was really.
Yeah, he puts on a great show.
And I had never seen him, and this was kind of almost like a.
You didn't really want to go.
And I was like, man, Billy Joel was like good in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's like.
Like you thinking Uptown Girl.
Yeah, exactly. Man, they got down.
Hey, man.
It was a good time.
I'll tell you what, go to YouTube and look up that song, You May Be Right, that he sings. But look it up. It's like 1981 or 2, 3, somewhere in there. He's in Madison Square Garden. And when I tell you that they getting with it, they getting with it.
That's
I mean,
right.
like he's another.
That's just like, and I ain't gonna believe I'm about to say this out loud, but I was very, I used to dog John Mayer out. Bodies of Wonderland. This is the worst music I've ever heard. And then I heard the John Mayer Trio, which is a blues.
Which is nothing but Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, like reinvented, basically.
Now,
I'm not saying John Mayer's on the level with Stevie Ray, but Stevie Ray was his idol. And you can tell that.
And I didn't realize dude's 6'4" either.
You also didn't realize he could beat the strings off of a guitar, did you?
I had no idea.
That man can beat the strings off of a guitar.
I saw some article where he and Eric Clapton and J.J. Cale were playing together, and I was like, what in the world would John Mayer be doing with J.J. Cale and Eric Clapton?
And the question you should have asked was, what are Eric Clapton and J.J. Cale doing trying to play guitar with that fool?
And I just didn't, when I saw the John Mayer Trio, a new level of respect. And the fact that he's playing with the Dead and stuff now.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. What people don't realize is about him, he's from Atlanta. And he was an acoustic guy, went around playing bars and stuff like that. He was like some guitar virtuoso genius, whatever. He was supposed to go to, what was it, Stanford or somewhere? Anyway, he's a genius. And he wanted to start making music. Well, he started making music, but the music he was making was kind of what was kind of popular in Atlanta at that time. So all that stuff starts hitting, and these people they loving it. The fact is that John Mayer trio showed everybody that this man's legit.
Well, he said, I saw an interview. He said he paid all that poppy stuff just to get on the radio.
Yeah, that's right.
Just so he could get some play, and so once I was established, then I could put my real music out. And I had a lot more respect for him, because let me tell you what. When Stephanie and I first got together, I mean, like the second weekend that she moved to Birmingham, she said, Maria and I have tickets down at the wharf for John Mayer. She said, I think there's still some available. Do you want to get one and go with us? And I was like, well, hell no. And then I saw some of the, the set list, and somebody said, oh, you would love this. And they went off, and then I found out what the John Mayer trio was, and I was like, oh my God. He's like, the first part of the show is that poppy stuff, and he came out the second part of the show, and it's like, man, he just went off, and I was just like,
listen, when you are strong enough that you can have Buddy Guy come out on stage with you and sit and play Damn Right I Got the Blues that Buddy does, but yet you take off and play a solo on it, and Buddy Guy is standing over there going,
looking at you, quit playing.
Yeah, this is Buddy Guy, okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I have mad respect for John Mayer, because he is a mad guitar player, like stupid guitar player.
That's right. I didn't know.
Didn't know. Really.
Of course, that's crazy, because that was like 16 years ago.
Hot Rod says Cinderella, great band. Billy Joel, Jerry Rivers. I love Billy. I do too. I love Billy Joel. Let's see. Miss Gail says Elton a couple years ago in Mobile, tickets were $300. Great concert. I guarantee it was a great show. Yes, he is a hell of an artist there, Sherry. Good morning, Randall Mallard. What's happening, man? Yeah, well, I had to find time to do that.
I don't even play a mean air guitar, I don't believe.
Let's see. We went to the Lawn in Nashville for Zach Brown Food and Music Festival probably 10 years ago. Zach Brown Band, Sheryl Crow, John Mayer, Greg Allman, Alan Jackson, Dwight Yoakam, all on stage at once. That would have been a show.
Absolutely.
Ooh, man. I tell you, I'd love to have seen the Greg Allman and Friends show that they did at the Fox in Atlanta. I think it was a couple years before Greg passed. You talk about some people on stage. They had some people on.
That's right.
The last song they did was "Will the Circle Be Unbroken?" Because that was when Dwayne was alive. That was Allman Brothers' final song they played every night. And if you've ever heard the Marshall Tucker Band version of it, that's how the brothers played it. Because that's Marshall Tucker basically paying whatever
homage
to the Allman Brothers Band.
That's right.
So,
hey, I love some CCR.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's see.
CCR and Bad Company? That couldn't have been a bad show.
CCR Revisit. Oh, so that was just them minus what? Fogerty?
Fogerty.
Yeah. Bad Company. I'm going to tell you what. That guy is a singing fool, is he not?
And what's crazy is most, if you listen to, and especially hair band too, or,
all hair bands.
You got one guy that's singing high. And then if you listen to the harmony, there's some guy behind him singing higher.
Yeah, and what's crazy about that is, how did they get all them harmonies to sound that good? I mean,
who would have thought you're rocking out hard?
That's what I mean. Like you up there, these people were slinging guitars around their necks and stuff. I mean,
getting down.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that. I just
open air even. He said, what a great. Probably the worst, most disappointed I've ever been in a show, and it was still okay. Down at Mobile, at whatever that festival was they used to have down there.
Bayfest.
Yeah, Bayfest. Doobie Brothers.
Oh, hey, listen, me
Yeah, because they're mostly they're harmonies
Yeah.
and stuff.
Right.
I was like, is this any of the members of the Doobie Brothers? I was like, I mean, it was, everybody has an off night, I guess, and it was cold. When I say cold, you could use all of the Southern slang you want. It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold, and we left because it was so cold, and it was like a little front came through, so it wasn't cold. It had a little rain, so you were kind of wet.
But the band was not good, so y'all said we're out.
Yeah, we're out.
Listen,
and for me, I love the Doobie Brothers, and I just couldn't. I was just like, man, that's a damn
me,
shame.
the Colonel, and Catfish went to Bayfest several years ago when Motley Crue was playing, and it was terrible. Vince Neil had, I guess, his voice was blown out. It was awful. And now to find out that they've been playing with backing track, which everybody's known this, and they're not the only band.
No.
But now to find out all these bands are playing with backing tracks, like publicly, like it's real now. I mean, okay, it's kind of like, do you want to go watch karaoke? Because that's what you're watching. I mean, that's why I love jam bands.
Oh,
they ain't no
yeah,
backing tracks playing. I mean, it's just not. I mean, that's real musicians.
I remember the first time I took Stephanie up to see a Widespread show in Birmingham. And she's like,
that was an experience.
Oh, yeah. She said, do they sing? And I said, yeah, they sing. She said, they've been playing for 15 minutes, and I haven't heard them sing a word.
That's the point.
And I was just like, and it was, it was a great show. It was supposed to be at Oak Mountain, and there was such a bad thunderstorm, they moved it to the Civic Center, and so you just got to go kind of sit where you wanted. So we went just to the left of the stage, and we were sitting from here to the back of the room here from, the stage, and just able to, and Charlie Daniels opened for him. Charlie Daniels was just as good of a guitar player as a fiddle player.
Oh,
if not better.
Absolutely.
If
Charlie
not better.
Daniels was a great guitar player.
I mean, he came out on stage and was wailing and just getting off, and I was just like, go, Charlie. I hear you, bro. I mean, it was a great show, and she said, I would go see him live again. She said, but I don't see how you ride around and listen, to him on the radio the way I do. And I said, well,
listen,
Light Fuse Getaway, oh, great live
yeah.
album.
I mean, boy, I think it's like this. If you've been to several live shows and have experienced that, then it's easy to ride around and listen
That's
to
right.
it.
You hear it
because,
live,
yeah.
and it's almost you bringing up the memories.
Right.
And like Light Fuse Getaway, there's several songs. Because I was in Athens at Panic in the Streets. Me and all my Brett Best and all the guys from Gulf Shores went 110,000 people downtown Athens, Georgia, free concert. What a great time! We had to wait for the show to start, some wedding, and once the wedding was over and they all cleared out, then they started the concert. It's pretty funny. But what a great and Colonel Bruce Hampton came up there, and they had so many guests they bring on, like the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. They did an album with them, something about some horns and some of that. And
you sure it wasn't the Nashville Brass?
I'm not sure, because I hadn't really heard the Nashville Brass.
Well, listen, we hadn't either until we were told about it one day on one of the shows. So,
I'm assuming they can, there's the trombone player for the Dirty Dozen is phenomenal.
No, that band's bad. Yeah, to the bone.
Him sitting there, and working. That's talent.
Sherry said last time they went to Bayfest, it was Blackberry Smoke, Joan Jett, Kid Rock, Joan Jett, and he sang it up. That's sad. That's sad, but I've seen some reviews that say the same thing. Who was the cover band that used to play at the Upper Deck? They were out of Greenville. They played all the 80s stuff. That wasn't the Ugly Stick, was it?
Speaking
of that,
I do not know.
I saw a post, correct me if I'm wrong, I saw a post where Miss Judy last weekend was at the Groove was this past weekend.
I did hear that. I saw it on the face crack.
Yeah, I saw that. Matt, she made it.
Yeah,
The post I saw.
As much as she enjoyed the journey, but it's time.
She's been there a long time, hadn't she?
Long time.
Good gracious. Let's see. I don't know who that was. It had. I mean, I remember a band coming in there called the
Ugly Stick come out of Mobile.
I was going to say, I think they were out of Mobile.
That's where, Sarge and predominantly knew a lot of groups from down there. So I'm not familiar with the group from Greenville.
Yeah. That was
Good morning from Gulf Shores. Good morning, Miss Becky Barrow.
What's that, Miss Becky? We had, that was more of my time when I was in Gulf Shores and stuff and didn't really, I don't think came home a lot. Because I remember going to the upper deck a few times. But it was more like me coming into town and I just went up there to, hang out with some people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to think of who that is, or was. I cannot for the life of me. I don't know. But I know, I mean, they had several bands through up there, from time to time. Yeah. So I can't remember.
I remember seeing Wet Willie at Bayfest. He had like a holster with about 8 different harmonicas on it.
Yeah. When was that? Yeah, there you go. The Rondon Trio. Let's see. Alan Dove. Good morning, Alan. There was a band. There was a band called Issues out of Andalusia that played there a lot. Maybe that's it. But let's see. D. Tom said the lead singer wore black fingernail polish.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if Sargie was to pop in here, we could ask her. Maybe she'd remember. I don't know.
I sure don't.
I can't remember.
I can't remember what I was going to the cooler for most of the time.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say that'd be tough on a lot of people to remember that far back.
And that's why I'm amazed at DJ and his memory, because I can't remember nothing.
Look, man, I don't even know how to describe that.
I see people walking towards me, and I'm like, man, I recognize this person. And I can't bring up a name. They'll be like, "What's up, Adam Manesco?" And I'm like, dang, they know both my names. And I'm just like, what's happening, brother? What's going on? And hopefully through conversation, it, rings a bell and brings it up. But I have had to ask. Don't! It's like, who are you again?
I mean, it's not like you mean to, but I mean, it just is what it is.
So last time I saw you was in high school.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. You look kind of different.
Yeah. I mean,
I know I do. Hell, I wore size 32 30s in high school, Now it might be 42 30s, but
yeah, or more for me.
Which surprises most people. That my gut's big, my waist is small.
I'll tell you what kills me is when you, like you're saying, you have somebody come and you're talking to them and you carry on this conversation and they walk off, and the very first thing you think to yourself is who is that?
Who was that?
Because the conversation didn't have anything in it that would have let you know.
To ring a bell or anything. I was like, still don't know who that was.
That's old age.
Oh, I saw some.
Yeah.
We were walking through Walmart, and this guy passed by us. I looked at Stephanie. I was like, "Didn't we go to high school with that guy?" She's like, "I don't know. He looked kind of familiar." And I was like, "I don't know." So.
Well, listen, I'm not real good with faces, even worse with names.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna count mine to burned out brain cells.
Yeah. Sherry says just CRS.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I have a major case of that.
Yeah, we get that too. So anyway, Sherry, Henry's enjoying the show.
Oh.
Listen, I'm glad DJ's not here to know that, because he'd be running out the door right now.
Well.
Let's see.
Speaking of which, has anybody gone down to Burnham's and stayed the night yet?
No. Or if they have, I hadn't heard about it. Let me say that. I don't know. I would have thought that we'd have heard about it.
Me too. I would love to go down there and do that, especially on they're closed on Wednesday, so I go on a Tuesday night. That way, if I stayed all night, it really wouldn't matter.
I'm just the thing there. What do you do if you find something?
I don't know. Record it, run out the door. I don't know.
I'm just telling you, man. Like that's just a little unnerving to me.
I have been in some places that knowing there's nobody else there, especially in Orlando. There was it's like an old butcher, slaughterhouse, and I'm thinking, all right, slaughterhouse. How could a slaughterhouse, be haunted or whatever? But
I've seen enough Rob Zombie movies
that was the absolute creepiest. I will say it was as creepy as in Birmingham.
Sloss Furnace?
At Sloss Furnace. And you can't walk around Sloss without getting the heebie-jeebies.
Have you been there?
I have, because living up in Birmingham, they always had the Halloween.
Right.
You go into Halloween and go up there, and you were going to experience something. And I can remember this old hotel that they had up there that was probably, you walk in, I mean, it's a different, as soon as you walk through the door, it was just a different feel. And what do you say about that? I don't know, and I have experienced some out in Pollard, some creepy in an old barn.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I personally have always said I don't want to fight nothing I can't shoot.
No.
So.
And I don't carry anything, crucifix or anything with me to help me.
Ooh, look,
I don't know.
I agree with Chevy Ann on that. Good morning there, Steve Watt. Miss Gail said that would be an interesting overnight stay. Yes, it would. Tell Adam that was the best yellow rice I ever ate on the buffet yesterday.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I love yellow rice. One of my, especially with some pork and some black beans. I guess that's mostly like Caribbean, some mojo marinated and some yellow rice, or Middle Eastern. Like I love Mediterranean as well. Just something about the flavors and stuff.
So let me ask you: do you see, talking about that? Now that they had a king crab season again this year, do you see prices on that going down because they were able to do that?
Oh yeah, I mean, why do you think we were giving away snow crabs?
Sure.
The Ophelia season, I'm assuming those are the same thing. Snow crab and Ophelia, they just call it up there, I guess, because they look like snow crabs and they bring them out.
I think that's the same. I mean, I think we call them snow crab, but I think it's the same thing.
Yeah. And they had a great season. So I mean, you're talking, we wouldn't be giving them away, the complimentary.
No, right. I'm saying, but like, now that it seems like that some of that may be getting back to, because they had
reasonable price. I mean, it got to where it was, $60 a pound.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they shut the fishery down up there for 2 or 3 years because it had just been completely
just wiped out.
Well, yeah. So, for those that like,
and most of it was, poachers.
It wasn't the legal guys.
Yeah, it was not the legal guys. It's the poachers. And you say it, I'm not the biggest Deadliest Catch fan. You can only watch one episode and you pretty much will know what's going to happen.
You've seen them all. Now, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I do watch them, but I guess I'm like hooked on them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the drama.
It's all made up.
I'm
talking about the drama part mostly. Yeah. Now, not when the two guys. This season, you got two guys that fall off of a boat.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how that turns out because I hadn't seen that one yet.
But it's I wouldn't go do it. There ain't enough money.
No.
For me to go do that.
Morning, Willie Campbell.
I'm cold nature. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what. To me, there is not enough help close enough to you for me to go out that far and do that kind of job in that kind of weather and those kind of waves. If I wanted to do that, I'd have fins and gills. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
I don't even
telling
think
you.
Aquaman would go out in some of those.
No,
I've seen some of those waves are 50-foot waves. I
don't know how they do it.
you're standing on the side of the boat, going up and down while you're trying to
I don't know how they do
throw
it.
a little hook and catch a buoy.
I just don't know how they do it, man. I mean, seriously. And on top of that, you get one of them rogue waves that comes over the whole boat, and they're saying head count, and
Yeah, just wash you right off the other side.
yeah,
You don't even
man.
know.
Look, I can tell you, there's a lot of things I want to do, but that ain't one of them. That's
I'm
just
good.
Yeah. Look, I'd rather pay for them.
That's kind of to me, the ocean is kind of like snow. It's beautiful to look at. I don't necessarily want to get off up in it.
Well, what's crazy about it? We know more about Mars and the moon than we do the bottom of our ocean floor.
Oh yeah.
So that right there should tell you how vast all that is.
That's right. And forever and a day, I always heard that the further down you go, the colder it gets. And I've had some oil people tell me that, and I think it's because they're drilling into the earth or whatever, but the mud that they're bringing up, like 140 degrees.
Oh yeah,
And stuff, and it's just kind of crazy that it can be 0 degrees on the water, and just below, the ocean floor is that kind of temperature. It's amazing how those things work.
Yes,
it
is.
is. Some of those new subs that go down there, and some of the rovers, and some of the new species of that are translucent and glow. So
listen,
they can
I'm not getting in something going down that far. I can tell you right now. I watched what happened to that thing
Yeah,
a
if
year
you
ago.
thump the window and it implodes,
right?
No
That's
thanks.
what was that? Ocean Gate or whatever the name of that was that happened to like a year when they were going to the Titanic. I can't think of a more terrible way to go. I mean, that would be awful.
Yeah, I wouldn't be on a submarine either.
No. Well, look here, Chef Adam.
Gosh, is it already that time?
What time? Yeah. What time? What's going to be on the lunch buffet today?
I have no idea.
So
no, we always have hamburger steaks, fried chicken. Let's see. I made some. I made American goulash last night. Which if anybody knows, that's just hamburger meat, some rotel, diced tomatoes, some macaroni.
Good stuff.
But it, delicious. We're just trying to put out some old classics that out there. I think they were making some sort of BG makes some sort of potato chicken dish that it's almost like chicken stroganoff with potatoes in it or something. I think he makes a stroganoff type sauce. It's really good. So, a bunch of crunchy vegetables. You gotta love. I go in there and eat more vegetables than I do anything else. But I tell you, we go through about 2.5 cases of fried chicken every day at lunch. So I know
People
they'd be
eat
loving
that.
the fried chicken.
Yeah,
They love that fried
and
chicken.
then the seafood buffet kicks off at what time?
5:00. We usually have it at 4:30. Might as well say 4:30.
4:30, and snow crab legs on.
Come on. I ordered 3 cases yesterday, so we should be golden.
There you go. All right, Mark DeSharp, we got to get out of here.
Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to everybody who came in and hung out with us today. I hope y'all come back beginning of the week. Enjoy the regular folks, and enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Be safe.
That's right. Later.